everybody. Janae here. So I decided that I was going to do a bit of a nonfiction recommendation video for you all. I have 3 books here that I want to get into and talk about. So I'm going to do them in order of how much I've read of them. So there's 3 books, one that I'm about halfway through, one that I've probably read about 80% of, and then one that I've read completely cover to cover. And so I'm going to go in that order just so that we all know. So the first nonfiction book I have here is called Me, My Hair, and I, and it's edited by Elizabeth Benedict. And it's 27 essays that women have written, 27 different women have written about their hair. And it's about all different, races, ethnicities, ages, hair types. There's a lot going on in this book. And I think the one thing that brings it all together is that clearly it is about hair. No matter what kind of hair you have or what background you grow up in or anything like that, there's some things about the human body and the human experience that we can all relate to. And this is definitely all written by women and about women. But I think men might find this interesting too, just to think about all the things that women have to think about with their hair. And because I know men also think a lot about their hair, I've heard that a lot, and so you might find something to relate to here too. But yeah, it's really interesting. I'm probably not even halfway, maybe 40% done with this book. I've read maybe 5 of the essays so far. I think they were the longer ones in the front. But yeah, I've been loving this, and it's something that I kind of, pick up, read an essay or two, put it down. I'm not in a huge rush to get through it, but it's something that's super interesting to me, so I wanted to show it to you all. So the next book that I have here is called Savage Inequalities, and it's by Jonathan Kozol. I had to read this book for a course when I was at GW. Go Colonials. And it was like I said, sociology class. I was a sociology major. And I don't remember what the class was called, but we had to read most of this book. And then the parts of it that we didn't have to read, I read some of them. Like I said, I was in college how long ago? You all don't know, but I do. It was a while ago. And I still haven't finished this book, but I pick it up every now and then to read more of it, especially now that I work kind of in education in a nonprofit capacity. This is even more interesting to me now because it's all about the inequalities in education that face different students. And this is urban students, but also rural students, students of color, students of a certain socioeconomic background, and it just kind of goes through the differences in the schools. I think in general, when someone mentions school in this country, there's a certain perception of what that means, and this delves a little bit into why and how that's not the reality for a lot of students in our nation. And it's just so well written. It's written kind of like a story. He goes and studies these different school systems in different cities, and he writes it like it doesn't feel like nonfiction because it's definitely real, but it feels like a story. It has a plot, kind of. And so I just think it's a quick read. Well, it might not be a quick read because it's a little bit disheartening, but it's not long, I guess is what I'm saying. And you can definitely finish this in a few settings if you're really interested. So I definitely wanted to put that out there. All right, so the last book in this nonfiction recommendation is mainly for the ladies. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I think some of you might find it interesting, actually. But it is a book called What's Up Down There, and it's by Dr. Alyssa Rankin. And the tagline, I think, is questions you'd only ask your gynecologist if she was your best friend. So it kind of tackles that thing where I feel like a lot of women have questions about their bodies and things that are going on with them, but they are afraid to ask about it to their gynecologist because they think something might be really wrong or they might be super abnormal. In this book, it was hilarious. It's kind of written like question and answer style. Um, and she writes the book as though she's like just a friend answering these questions, but she's also clearly a doctor and she knows what she's talking about. She talks a lot from her own experiences, not her own like with her body, but with patients. Of course, names have been changed and things like that, but it's so funny and it's so informative. Things I never would have thought to ask, honestly, were in this book, and the answers to them, and it was just written is so accessible. And so I really enjoyed this book. I honestly probably read it in one sitting, maybe two. I kind of like powered through it like it was a fiction book because it was just that entertaining. So if you do have those kinds of questions, or you're just interested in, learning a little bit more about your body, or if you're a gentleman, learning about the bodies of the women in your life, then I definitely suggest this book. It was hilarious and informative, and so I really, really enjoyed this book. So those were some of my book recommendations, my nonfiction book recommendations. I have more, and I will probably sprinkle them throughout the channel. It's just I felt like I had talked about a few nonfiction books in probably at least my last mini haul and my Thanksgiving thankful video, and so I just wanted to come with a few nonfiction books that I either am reading or have read, and give you a few recommendations. If you're interested in any of those topics, let me know down in the comments. If you just want to talk about the books, if you've read them, let me know that too. I'm totally down for discussion on any of these books, and again, some of them really have shaped the way I think, or changed the way I think about a lot of different topics, and I definitely appreciate that about these books. So that's all I have for today. I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much for being here. You don't have to come and spend your time with me, and you choose to do it anyway. I greatly, greatly appreciate it, and have a great day, night, weekend, week, whatever fits for your situation whenever you're watching this video. Thanks. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.